Hey, Buddy Buck here, back with another episode of Community Connect right here on Duvall TV. And today's Community Connect is brought to you by our friends at Zeke's Pizza. Ryan and Carly, locally owned and operated. Thank you so much. I personally love the John Candy and the fact that they deliver beer and wine. So there we go. Thanks, Ryan and Carly and Zeke's Pizza. All right, here we are, Dominic Bellemare. We are here. We are on camera. We are ready to roll. How are you doing, my man?
Doing great.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, tell us a little bit about you and how long have you lived in Duvall? What are you doing out? Like, where are you right now, too? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Right. Currently, I am down near the Snoqualmie Valley Trail in a railroad neighborhood in Duvall, Washington, and I've been here since 07 or something. Got into Washington State into 05 though.
Okay, very cool. And so how are you loving Duvall? I mean, it's most of your adult life because you're 20 years old, right?
Yeah, I think Duvall is a great town. I think it's awesome how our community is so small and we're all connected. It's this quiet little town that's not like any other town, and it's a nice place.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. All right, so I got a question before we dive into some of the things that you're, passionate about. But I got to know, Dom, what is your favorite smell?
My favorite smell. I really love the smell of flowers. I don't have a specific one, but just smell of flowers is nice. Just springtime.
Okay. And do you think that's from a core childhood memory? I mean, technically you're an adult, you're 20 years old, but do you think that smell of flowers is from like a core memory growing up, or is there something that you can think of?
I think it's just like growing up, like my family has just like had flowers sometimes on the table, like during certain occasions and stuff. And just, it's a smell that I personally enjoy.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. So let's just jump right into this. So tell us a little bit about what your passions are, because I know you have a few, but maybe just talk about like your favorite passion that you do, because I'm really intrigued, at your age and how smart you were when we were talking about some of these things last time I saw you on the bridge.
Yeah. Well, one of my biggest passions is probably weather, meteorology. I love it. I'm always focused on it, and I'll post about it when there's big situations. The Duvall flood of December was a big one. I know I walked on the Woodinville-Duvall Bridge when it was open in the morning, and I walked the bridge. It was one of the catastrophic floods that happens every so decades. It was a really rare event, and when we had Duvall surrounded, I was updating on my Instagram with road closures and when roads were reopening. I'll also track rain amounts, snow amounts, just any type of weather. I've got a weather station at home also that I bought for a few $100s that keeps track of the wind, the rain totals, and all of that good stuff.
That's so cool. Okay, so you're 20. How did you get involved and excited about weather? Like, what really got you sparked into weather and meteorology?
Yeah, I think kind of just around the age of 7, I've been interested in like snowstorms a lot. And then after that, that passion kind of just grew from there. I have the Weather Channel app on my phone, and I use that so much at a young age. And I keep using it now, but I also use more professional stuff now that I'm at the age where I'm at. I use windy.com to check winds and other sources of information. I've been keeping track also about El Nino, La Nina, and Enzo, which is a neutral type pattern. Currently, if anyone's wondering, we are in a La Nina year, but it's been a strange La Nina year because we haven't had much snow down here. We've only really had 1 or 2 days of snow, and then it all melted off, which was extremely strange because Seattle didn't get any of the snow. In a La Nina year, you get snow at least one time. So pretty interesting situation we're in.
You talked about the flood. When we were down there, we ran into each other. And it's funny because, I've seen you around town a lot and, I've stopped and we've chatted out of my truck, when I'm driving by sometimes. But, you're walking around and whenever we've talked, you've just blown me away with your knowledge about weather and just like your passion for it. It's not just like your knowledge. You can just hear it in your voice. It really does get you excited. And that comes through even the camera like this today. So that's really cool, man. I just wanted to tell you that.
I think something that's also great is I also run a Wildfire account on X and Blue Sky, which I've been working on for about 2 years now. which is kind of related with my passion for weather. When there's a wildfire that sparks around Duvall, I'll drive onto it and I'll be safe, keep a safe distance, and I'll post information on the fire as it progresses. And I'll cover the whole state of Washington. But when they happen around here, I'm usually live on the scene, getting like live coverage of the fire.
I love that, man. That's so cool. Well, we'll be sure to reference your X and Blue Sky accounts once we post this content on Duvall TV. How's that sound?
Yeah, for sure. That sounds great.
Right on. I have watched your account on X. I think you're just almost around 1,000 followers on X.
Yeah.
I've seen some of your posts, especially with the flood too. So keep up the good work on that, man.
Thank you.
All right. So just couple of little personal things. You had mentioned to me earlier that you were a former Minecraft YouTuber, right? So when you say former, I mean, you're 20 years old. So at what age were you a Minecraft YouTuber? And for those that don't know what the heck we're talking about, tell the audience a little bit about what a Minecraft YouTuber actually means.
Yeah. So anyone can really be a YouTuber. And my niche was specifically on Minecraft, which a lot of people know about, block video game. And basically, as a Minecraft YouTuber, I started out in 2020 and I was working off of my pandemic desk, which was a small just desk that wasn't even like gaming setup like. I was working on my dad's 7 or 9-year-old computer, and I started this channel called Enderglow. And it's something that a lot of people at the high school knew about or still talks about. And I basically just hopped on, hit record, and I'd make some Minecraft content, which I'd come up with different topics about and just go for it.
Cool. And so when we're talking about Minecraft, I know a lot of maybe people my age. So I'm Gen X, I'm 50. Some 50-year-olds might not know what Minecraft it is if their kids didn't play. Just real quickly, what is Minecraft? You said a block game. What do you mean by that? Just tell us a little bit more about Minecraft.
Yeah, so when you hop in, you've got kind of 2 different modes. You got survival and you've got creative mode. Survival is kind of where you gotta kind of lock in, know your stuff. Creative's kind of more for the just relaxing touch. Survival is where you hop in and you mine some wood, you gather resources, you'll craft pickaxes, armor, and upgrade, and I guess that's kind of it.
So do you still play Minecraft at all, or is that done now for you?
That was kind of an old chapter. I left about 2 years ago now. In the summer, it'll have been 2 years. And it was an emotional time leaving because I was entering college. So I was like, I can't really keep up the pace anymore. And I didn't really want to keep it up from time to time. So I just kind of left it. So I left with a final keep on glowing, which was the end of my videos because I was Enderglow and it was my catchphrase. So left with that.
I love that you had a catchphrase. So I just wanted to tell the audience at home, for people that don't know Minecraft, I just looked this up, 140 million active monthly users, and there's been over 300 million copies sold across all platforms. So PC, console, mobile, all the platforms. So very popular game, yes?
Yep. Very popular.
Very popular. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Okay, last little thing here. It says that you speak French. How did you end up learning French? I'm guessing it was from family, but tell me about that.
Yeah, so my parents actually grew up in Quebec, Canada. So they learned fluent French from there. And since I was born, we visited almost every year except the pandemic years. We've gone over to Quebec, Canada. So I've just naturally grown up to French around me. And in my household, we kind of switch. Sometimes we'll speak French, but most of the time we'll speak English here. But I still keep my French so that when I go over to Quebec, Canada, to my extended family, I'm able to use that fluent French and communicate with them.
That's awesome. That's such a good skill to have. Obviously, I think you're starting to probably figure that out more and more as you get a little bit older too, because having that second language is huge. It's key. So I live in the Victorian community. My wife and I live up here. And so I've seen you walking around a little bit. Do you like to walk around the neighborhoods a lot, or is that just how you get your exercise? I see you out and about a lot. Is that just part of your weekly or daily flow?
Yeah, it's actually most of the time I'll try to take 30 minutes to an hour walk around Duvall. So I know I've seen a lot of people and familiar faces around from the high school and just people that know me. And I'll often just walk around all places, but my favorite walk is really just going up, I think it's 145th, and then turning onto Baton Road, and then passing through like a paved area in the forest. I think it's like just relaxing to walk through nature. And I've loved that walk, but like I'll take different routes around the cities.
That's cool, man. All right. So when you said you had your weather station at home, so tell me just a little bit, going back to the weather station, what does that mean to the average person? Because I can't even begin to imagine what that means.
Yeah, so I've got a weather station that I got during the Christmas time. I set it up on my roof. Basically what it does is it has a wind sensor, a temperature sensor, and like a rain gauge. So what will happen is when we get these big rain events, we'll often have the rain gauge will start picking up on the rain amount, and it'll let me know the rain total at the end of the day, or it'll tell me the wind speed. The wind speed updates every 3 seconds, so I get live wind data really in time. And as kind of a weather enthusiast, it is awesome because when you got a weather app like the Weather Channel or your own weather app, it'll try its best to tell you like what the temperature is, but your phone will often tell you like it's 46 Fahrenheit, it's 50 Fahrenheit, but mine will go to the point. So you'll see 0.7 Fahrenheit, for example, instead of 32. So you'll get the really exact numbers. So when you're getting snow, especially, and you're close to freezing mark, super useful to know that because you know if you're getting really close to freezing or if you're still a few marks from freezing.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. So what's the next set of tech? If you were like, hey, if I could just have this next upgrade of tech, what would be your next purchase for yourself?
Yeah, I think my next purchase would probably be the Tempest, which is my weather station, has a lightweight weather map, which basically will show you like, I guess the weather data on a little screen. So it's kind of just so that I don't have to go on the app or the website. I actually can just look at this the display that's right next to me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds really neat. All right, so it says you're majoring in meteorology and you plan to attend UW Seattle coming up in the fall. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, that's still the plan. I'll be going to UW Seattle, but I'll also be still at Cascadia in the background. But I'll be joining the UW Dogcast, hopefully, which is related to meteorology. And I'm going to start that in the fall.
That's awesome. How would you feel about coming on and doing a one-off spot on the weather in a future episode of Duvall TV? Would you want to do that with us?
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd be able to talk about the weather for the next few days and kind of give an update on what to expect.
Yeah, maybe as we get closer to the Ref Run 5K, because, you know, that's something we're partnered with. Buddy Buck Real Estate is the title sponsor for the Ref Run 5K, which is the kickoff of Duvall Days coming up on the first Saturday of June. So maybe as we get closer to that, too, that would be some really valuable information to get the weather updates coming up for Duvall Days. How's that?
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to help.
Sweet, man. That's really, really cool. Well, congrats on that. Congrats on going to UW Seattle, and you're going to be a dog. My wife and I are both University of Washington alumni, so go Dogs, Dom, on that. So last thing, and I know you've supported Duvall TV, you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, the whole thing. We started posting on TikTok recently too. I don't know if you caught that yet, but I figured, hey, let's just get it out to all platforms everywhere. But if you could wave a magic wand and see something either added on or something you'd be like, this would be really cool, something on the show, what would you like to see on some future episodes?
Not really sure about that. I think you've covered a lot on the show, which is great. And I love that you've added these community connects and the giveaways. I think those are great additions. And I think there's definitely more, but it just has to be figured out.
Nice. Yeah, I love that you didn't say add the weather because yeah, we already checked that. We're gonna do that in the future for sure. All right, last thing, we're gonna do a little hot seat here. So I'm gonna ask you either or question. We're gonna just end it with this. I'm gonna say two things and you just pick one of them. Okay, are you ready? All right, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Okay, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay, English or French?
Oh, probably English.
Okay, tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Texting or phone calls?
Phone calls.
Okay, last couple, wind or rain?
Wind.
And last one, Thunder or lightning?
Lightning.
Lightning it is. Okay, cool. All right, Dom, so go ahead and put a bow on this episode of Community Connect for us.
Merci d'avoir écouté Duvall TV.
Yeah, baby. All right, thanks for joining us on another episode of Duvall TV. Duvall, Washington. Small town, real life. Buddy Buck. Peace.